Hello, happy people. How are you all this week? I feel like I haven't been live properly for a really long time, but actually it's only just been 1 week. And that was because we had so much wind, which was wonderful for sailing, not so great for doing lives on a wonderful sailing boat. So welcome to this week's happy hour, a time where you can tap in at the start of your week to really help you intentionally prioritize happiness and feeling good. And you can tap into this and tap into this energy. And what I'm going to be sharing with you today is two little stories that help me crack the nut that I would love to help you crack. And this is what has really helped me detach from the need to have everything perfect, to understand and have everything around me as absolutely perfect in order to feel a certain way. Now, I'm all about feeling the love and feeling the happiness, and those are my two go-to feelings. I want to feel love and loved, and I want to feel happy, and I want to feel joy and happiness. And these were the two things that I really intentionally wanted to feel back in 2016 when I'd been diagnosed with PTSD, clinical depression, and a multitude of mental health issues. And it was a real focused intention to feel about that. Somebody was just trying to call me then. Just had to turn that off. So what I really want to talk to you about today is the ability to move from conditional feeling and unconditional feeling. And I'm going to tell you two stories, and then I'm going to tell you the two things that I learned from those experiences so that you can try this for yourself. I'm going to start with unconditional love because there is nothing like the feeling of unconditional love, being felt loved unconditionally. And yet we look for others to do that and supply that for us. And what I learned during this very dark period of time was the ability to be able to give myself this unconditional love. And that was so freeing, and in itself gave me so much peace and so much love. And the way in which I found this was during my period of very, very dark days, I decided, rather than taking the medication that was offered to me by the medical profession, I decided to follow the holistic route. And one of the therapies that I used was hypnotherapy. And I went to see the most amazing energy healer and hypnotherapist. And she helped me uncover some of the depths of my pain and the depths of my despair by using hypnotherapy. And I don't remember very much, but I still have a very, very clear image of this particular time when we did this hypnotherapy. And I was in our garden where we currently live now, and I was sat underneath one of our ginormous horse chestnut trees. And I was sat there nestled in the kind of like nook of the roots, really comfortable. And I was holding what I thought was a baby. And I was looking at this baby in the way that I'd looked at my sons, with this like utter unconditional love. Just this, I love this little being that I'm holding on to. And I love this little being so completely. And there's nothing that they can do to upset me. They don't need to do anything to make me love them other than just be themselves. They are just in my arms and I love them. And I know for any parents out there, you'll know that feeling. It's just pure, unconditional, unadulterated, sweet, pure love. And I just sat there under this tree in this hypnotization, just loving this little like swaddled being in my arms. And I don't know what she was saying, but I remember through this guided hypnotherapy, I started to unswaddle this baby in my arms. And as I unswaddled this baby, I realized, even if I couldn't see it, I realized that the thing that I loved unconditionally, that with all this purity, was me. And through this loving and through this unconditional loving, and even though when I recognized it was me, I carried on pouring this heart-to-heart love into this kind of like cocooned being of myself. And the more I loved, the more I felt it warm. And as I was doing this, what ended up happening as I unfurled the cocoon, as I unfurled the swaddling, I flew away. I grew wings. I unfurled my wings and I flew off out of the garden. And when I came to look to create my brand a whole year later, when I looked to thinking about if there was any symbolism, if there were any animals or ideas that I wanted to use in terms of my logo, it was immediately a butterfly. Because it was from that moment until the year that I launched my business that I used this unconditional love towards myself. That I didn't have to do anything, that I didn't have to say anything, I didn't have to achieve anything. It was just I loved myself and the journey that I was on. And through this process of hypnosis, I recognized this very powerful lesson that I'd given myself through unleashing this vision in myself. I believe my spirit, my soul showed me this. It was this: you love yourself. You don't need the love from your husband who broke your heart. You don't need the love from anybody, your friends who have left you. You don't need the love from your mum who's passed on. You just need to love yourself. And the more you love yourself unconditionally, the more you're going to be able to fly, and you're going to get stronger and stronger and stronger and fly away. So my emblem, my motif, my logo became the butterfly, which is what it is still today. And the more I love and appreciate myself, the stronger I get, the more I'm able to fly. So that's my first story, that I learned how to crack this nut of unconditional love, an unconditional feeling. There were no conditions attached to me loving me. It was just this: I love me. I love this being. There is nothing that you can do to stop me loving you. There is nothing you need to do in order to receive my love. And I really took that and I embraced that for that year after that. And that's healing. It healed me so much, to the point where I was in a very, very dark place, to starting my own business and starting my life again, and a very, very successful business as well. So that was the first story I wanted to share with you, and how I learned this process. The second story is all to do with happiness, and actually happened before this one. And this happened very, very shortly after my world came crumbling down. For those of you who know the story, you'll know the story, but I had just recently been diagnosed with the PTSD. I'd been diagnosed with clinical depression. I'd been diagnosed with an eating disorder and insomnia after a series of events that in 2016 and at the start of 2017 that left me with this very, very deep, dark depression and this broken heart and this inability to feel happy. And I was a very, very happy person before all of this. And I remember lying in my darkness and just thinking, all I desire is to feel happy again. And how am I going to feel happy? This is all I want to feel, is to feel happy. And I was lying on my bed. And very strangely, one of the events was my mum dying. Very strangely was this real feeling and presence of my mum very close to me on my bed. Whether it was my mum, whether it was angels, whether it was my intuition, I'm not sure. But something said to me, or I heard the words, or I felt it. This nudge, this impulse, this whispering of, you don't need anything to be happy. You can feel happy now. You can feel happy now. You can cultivate feeling now. And in hearing that, I decided to try it. I was like, what have I got to lose? I've lost everything else. I've literally lost everything. I've lost my home. I've lost my friends. Lost my family. I've lost my health. I've lost everything. So what else have I got to lose? I might as well try it. So as I was lying there on my bed, I closed my eyes and I allowed myself to imagine this feeling of happiness without any condition. I didn't take myself back into the past where I'd felt happy before. I didn't try and imagine a future where I felt happiness. I just allowed myself to feel happy. And in my mind, I'm not very good at visualizing things, but in my mind, the things that I kind of saw, or as I was cultivating this feeling and the smile on my lips and the warmth that started to flood my heart, I could feel that I was sat in a very, very beautiful garden. It was just green. There was grass underneath me. There was green trees all around me. And I was sat there on this grass feeling happy, just this gentle, peaceful happiness. And to me, in those moments, I allowed myself to feel these feelings. And what I did every single day after that was allowed myself to take myself to that feeling, even if only for a short moment every single day during this period of darkness, to cultivate that feeling with absolute intention. There was no condition applied to that feeling of happiness. There was no, I will feel happy when. It was just like, I'm allowing myself to feel happy for this short period of time, even though everything around me is telling me that I shouldn't be happy. My business has failed. I've got a diagnosis as long as your list and your arm to say that I'm really not very well. I've just lost my mum. My marriage has just failed, broken apart. I've lost, my friendship, my group, a lot of really close considered friends. And I am just sat here allowing myself to feel the feelings of happiness by closing my eyes and just taking myself back to this very, very green space and allowing myself to feel this feeling straight away. Wind forward. I think it was about 6, 7 or 8 months later, my husband had said, listen, I found this house. Would you like to come and look at it with me? And I was like, I'm not sure. He said, we'll do it as an investment property. We'll go and have a look. And I went around the house, beautiful vibe in this house, was still very, very nervous about what was going to happen next. And the owner of the house said, well, would you like to come and see the garden? Oh, please bear with me 1 second. I've got an intruder. Hello, darling.
Closed our door and the key's inside it.
Okay, well, I'm on a live video, sweetheart. So you can use the towels in our bathroom, okay?
No, my phone's in my room.
Okay, well, we'll go in a minute, in a second. I'll bring it to you. Oh dear, teenager's lost his phone. Where was I? So yeah, the owner of the house just said, would you like to see the garden? And I said, I'd love to see the garden. And we went through this big arched U and we walked down these old steps. And as I walked down these steps, we walked in to the most incredible green garden. And I immediately felt the feelings that I had felt through these guided meditations, through these moments of happiness that I'd allowed myself to feel. And I knew from that moment again, I was going to be able to feel happiness because I had found the spaces that I had imagined that I would be in. And from then, I knew that I never, ever needed to have conditions. If I could feel it first, the conditions outside, if I could create these feelings within me, this feelings of happiness, and just allow myself to feel happy without any condition attached to that feeling of happiness, then everything in my outer world would respond and create this feeling of happiness for me. And that is all I needed to do. So these two stories really cracked the nut for me in order to create these unconditional feelings of love and unconditional feelings of happiness. And I really wanted to share those two stories with you so you could understand how that they work and how they have worked for me. And then on the back of that, I have used those experiences to continue to create these feelings of love and happiness in my life, and also coach and mentor many of my clients through the same process. Okay. So there's a couple of things that I just want to share with you that you could try in order for you to feel this way too, so that you can crack this nut of unconditional feeling. So first of all, I would like you to think of a feeling that you would really like to feel now. What is the feeling that is missing in your life that you want to feel? It could be one of, like me, feeling loved. It could be this feeling of happiness. It could be a feeling of feeling healthy is another one that a lot of people come and speak to me about. This feeling of wealthiness, healthiness, wealthiness, happiness, this feeling of freedom. Whatever this feeling is that you would like to feel, really declare it and state that is the feeling that I would like to feel. Excuse me 1 second. You'll have to go back to reception and ask.
No, but then I'm going to be late for my activity.
Okay, well, I'll bring you your phone in a minute.
In a minute? You're on a call.
Where was I? Yeah, so think of this feeling, whatever this feeling might be. And then just ask yourself, this is very much, sorry, I'm just going to shut that door. A feeling of awareness. So it's a mindfulness practice. Once you're aware of the feeling that you would like to feel, it's then also becoming aware of all of the things that you are attaching to that feeling in order to make it happen. So example, you might say, well, I'm only ever going to feel happiness when. I'm only going to feel loved if. I'm only going to feel wealthy when. I'm only going to feel happy when I've got my next promotion in my job. I'm only going to feel wealthy when I've got enough money in the bank to buy me that car or that house, or to feel free. I'm only ever going to be able to feel healthy when I'm a size 8. Whatever it is, have a look at the list of conditions that you are giving yourself in order to feel that feeling. Because in some ways you are denying yourself that feeling because you've put potentially some really unrealistic goals attached to that feeling. And that's not what we want to do. That isn't making it unconditional. And you can feel these feelings unconditionally if you desire to. So it's about then recognizing that you have applied these conditions and then allowing yourself to let them go. It's about being really interested and saying, isn't that interesting that that's what I've done? In order to feel happy, I need to do this. In order for me to feel free, I need to have $1 million in the bank. In order for me to feel X, Y, and Z, I need to have all of these criteria. And then allow yourself to almost like rip up the page, throw them away, cross them out, and just go, no, I don't need any conditions in order to feel that. I can feel that now. It's like the feeling that I had when I was lying on my bed, that whisper saying, you can feel it now. You can feel happiness now. You can feel wealthy now. You can feel anything that you want to now. You just need to cultivate it within you and allow yourself to feel it without any conditions attached. And it's my belief that by doing this practice of feeling it without any conditions and allowing your body to feel it, you're cultivating this energy, this frequency, this vibration within you. And the more consistent you are and the more powerful you make that, you're putting yourself on the frequency of everything that you desire. And I'm a huge believer and lover and avid reader of the wonderful Abraham and Esther Hicks, of Wayne Dyer, Gabby Bernstein, anybody of those beautiful kind of like vibrational frequency, Rhonda Byrne, anyone. This is what they all talk about. This feeling it first before needing anything. And it works. And that's when I learned it and got the nudges from myself. And then I read the books that reinforced everything that I had been feeling intuitively. And I'm sharing this with you so that you don't have to read the hundreds of books that I've read or go through the experiences that I have experienced. But you can do this now so simply and just name the feeling that you want to feel and allow yourself to feel it. Release all of those attachments. And in the act of writing it down and crossing them out, or writing them down and ripping them up, you're releasing them really physically. You're cutting those ties and you're allowing yourself to feel it now. And then by doing that, you're making yourself this kind of like energetic force field. You become this magnet for this feeling, and everything that you desire is going to come to you. And you're letting go of the conditions of how. And that is the magic of manifestation, I believe. But I want you to crack this nut. It's about creating the feeling within you, not outside of you, in order to receive everything you want. And it will come so much quicker. We've got it wrong. Well, this is how I felt. It's like, oh my God, I've been doing it wrong all the time, waiting for something to happen in order to feel something. Whereas actually, if I feel it first, then the thing happens so much more quickly. Now, if you're struggling to understand or ascertain what is it, the feeling that I want to feel, you can try it in another way. So maybe this second kind of like exercise can help you crack this nut. If there is something that you really want, perhaps a thing, a promotion, maybe it's a house, maybe it's a partner, maybe it's to have a baby. I don't know. There are so many different things. To lose the weight. There are so many different clients that I've worked with who've wanted different things. And it's about saying, okay, now that we know what you want, own the desire of what it is that you want. More clients, more money, a bigger home, more health, more happiness, whatever it is. What is the thing that it is that you want? A thing, a tangible thing. The next handbag that's at the top of the list. I don't know. What is it? A new job, another client, a new love, a holiday. Holiday is lovely, by the way. A holiday. What is it, the thing that you really, really want right now? And then when you know what that is, when you've claimed that desire and when you've allowed yourself and given yourself that permission to really own what it is that you want, ask yourself quietly, if I then had that job, if I had found my gorgeous new partner, if I found myself pregnant, if I did actually have that gorgeous new handbag, the new car, whatever it is, How is that going to make me feel? Driving down the road in this brand new car, what does that make me feel? Excited, exhilarated, having this new job. How does it make me feel? A new client. Oh, I'm so excited to start working with them. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to be part of this company. What is it? The pride, the confidence of losing that extra stone that you've been carrying around. What is it? What is the feeling on the other side of having the condition that you've applied yourself? Because then that's your feeling. Note that feeling. Be aware of that feeling that you're associated with the thing. And then go back to the first exercise and go take yourself through that process of allowing yourself to feel the feeling first. Put yourself on the frequency of all the things that you want, and they will come to you. So I love this process. I love how life has taught me through the experiences that I went through, these very, very simple practices that I really created for myself, that in the last 5 years, I've then read the books, I've taken the programs, I've worked with the coaches who've really just amplified the same thing. And I love them and I keep doing them, and it's just beautiful. So whatever it is that you want to feel it now. Don't wait for the conditions in order to feel that way. And then if you crack this nut, you're always going to be and feel however it is that you want to feel, because this is unconditional happiness. This is unconditional love. This is unconditional peace, unconditional wealth, unconditional whatever it is that you want to feel. I hope you've loved today's happy hour. This has been such an incredible journey for me with those two, and it's been probably one of the biggest, my most favorite nuts to crack. I hope you get to crack it. Go practice. It takes practice. Daily intentional practice and consideration in order to do this. And it is possible, because I'm the living proof. I feel happiness and love and joy and wealth and peace and abundance and all of the wonderful things that we love to feel every single day, because I can cultivate them within me, not looking on what's going on around me. So what's next? If you want to know any more, please go and check out my wonderful new website, which has been in the making for the last 3 months and been beautifully brought to life by the wonderful Sophie Hutchinson. I'll tag her. You can go and check her out. She's wonderful. If you're looking for a new website designer, she is just simply amazing. And given that I changed tack halfway through, she's brought it to life. It looks wonderful. I'm so super thrilled with it. You can go and find out all about my story. You can go and find out how to work with me. You can just go and have a look and have a browse and see what is going on. You can go and see all of my wonderful client testimonials that we're uploading. There's some up there already. We've got some more to come up. You can go and see all of the happiness stories that I have helped people create. And I love this work. And thank you so much for being with me today. It is time that I get back out on the water with my boys. I've put some stories up there today. They've just been nailing the 360s on their wakeboards. They're doing incredible tricks. We've got a huge heat wave going on here at the moment in Greece. It's very, very hot, hence why I'm inside in the air conditioning. I'm going to go and check them out. Hope you're all having a wonderful summer wherever you are, and I will be back next week, back in the UK for next week's happy hour. But otherwise, I'm going to be up on stories, sharing more of my holiday, and I'm going to be posting lots of things. Actually, I'm still going to continue talking about human design at the moment. So much learning in human design as I'm watching my boys really come in and seeing through a completely different lens. This holiday has been magical. I'm going to be sharing a lot more about that on my feed. So lots of love to everybody. Take care. If you've loved this feed today, if you've loved this live today, please do share it with somebody who you know could do with a little bit of love, a little bit of happiness, a little bit of a boost. Please share it with them. Please tag them. I'll see you soon.